Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am on episode 166 today. This is the weekly color where we review what I colored last week as well as what am I going to color moving forward for the next week. I did complete 2 pages in the small victories. I used 4 sets of pencils. 1 professional set, the other 3 budget pencils. I will show you the pencils that I used, and I am also getting ready to embark on my daily color big edition once or twice a week to get started, and we will review what results we've had from the variety of polls that I have posted, and you guys have helped me decide what I am going to do and with what pencils I will do it with. So first I colored this bird. It took a couple of days. It was very pleasant. I think this is one of my favorite colorings in Small Victories. Again, this is the first coloring book I have been brave enough to color in. I have always been a copy onto my preferred paper colorist. So actually breaking out a book has been good for me. I have dealt with, the fact that this is a very smooth paper. Nina Bristol vellum 67 pound is what I use every day for coloring with when I make copies. I've had to deal with the spine, which is a challenge every time I have to color near it. The other image that to me is one of my favorites is this image here. This was done with polychromos and stickles. It's a glittery stickles. So I now have 2 that I felt very satisfied. They were large. They took more than a day. The only thing I did on the bird page without you guys, well, there was really 2 things. The rest of the background, I colored a portion of the background, but all the other elements I colored with you, and then I did put the orange sparkle pop on at the very end. So, crested barbet is the bird that I used. I did not get permission from the reference photographer, so I did not actually post the image. In the colored pencil world, when you are doing realism and nature type images, it is very important that you don't get permission. And all I was doing was using Google Images to figure out a crested bird that I liked the colors for. So I'm probably not violating any rule if I did put up the bird, but that is the bird. You can see all sorts of images, and hopefully you'll say, oh yes, I see how these images, how that image translated to this coloring page. What I have not done yet, I did not do the Jelly Roll white. And I may or may not add the white. I'm going to leave it as is for now and move along. The big thing for me is to keep pressing forward in this book and not get wrapped up in too much time spent on any one image. And I will say I spent an inordinate amount of time not coloring with you guys, mocking up this. I even went so far as to make multiple colors or copies when I had the background done to figure out what I wanted to do with the flowers as they related to the bird colors. In the end, I ended up doing the flowers using only the bird colors. So I don't know if you are familiar with the 520 flower box set, but I do want to share with you the enormous swatch. It's 10 pages of swatches. I did pull the empty swatches from a fellow colorist. I assume from France because they speak in French, but they could be French Canadian, I suppose. It's a Bruno Art Gallery, I believe. So I will just show you what I did to organize these pencils. The reason why I chose these over the Kalour, so it's the Brutfuner 520 flower boxes that I used, and I chose them over the Kalour. I had heard some complaints about the Kalours being very disorganized, and this flower box set comes, it is in 2 boxes, and one is the evens and one is the odds, but they're pretty much grouped by tray in a set number of, they're all in the same family in that tray. And then there is a numbering system. Green is for the one flower box and P is for the other flower box. And then I stopped doing that because I realized that, the evens are in the pink flower and the odds are in the green flower box. So these actually go in number order, and on the pencils is this little teeny tiny stamped number that you can't see because it's stamped into the paint. So I used a white chalk pen from the Dollar Tree to reveal the color numbers, the order number, 1 through 520. And I am so glad I did. I've watched some people swatching the Kalours, and it's pretty chaotic and out of control. So this worked really well for my brain that needs to have things. I'm not an overly OCD person, but I definitely get stressed and rattled when things are highly disorganized. So I'm a sort of organized person. So here's page 1. And then on the back of these swatches, because the color order isn't the family order that I would normally do, so I'm not familiar with the fact that they go from yellow to orange, but then they go into the kind of the khakis and then to the browns. That's kind of messes with me, so I have actually put on the back of these, I've numbered them 1 through 10, so that when I pop out of my disc bind system that I use, and this is how fat all of my swatches are together now, I am very close to completing all of my budget pencil swatches. I try really hard to keep on top of that. I have a couple of them left to get back to. Okay, so number 2 looks like this, and you are missing a couple along the bottom, but I just want to give you the idea of how many colors you have to choose from. And these pencils are just really, really very pleasant to me. I love to use them. They don't have a lot of crumbs or dust. They are soft. They are blendable. They are just a very nice pencil, and I have not found a single scratchy pencil. I haven't had a single one not sharpen for me, and I have used these now in Small Victories 3 times, I think. Yeah, 3 times. The blues are spectacular. They actually go dark enough. That seems to be my biggest frustration with these, with the smaller sets. Look at all these darks. Look at them all. And then here's more darks. Going into the reds, to the pinks and lavenders. I do find, because they're numbered from 1 to 520, and I have them in a big book that is like a giant zippered pencil case, I don't struggle with picking colors. Look at this anemone. It's like, why is that color right there? But hey, I did not make the swatch sheet, so I just pick. I go within a family, like look at all these purples. They look almost the same. I will never run out of purples. But Petunia is definitely more violet than Royal Purple, which is a little bit more purpley. And then that one is even more blue, gentian violet. So I just pick. I do look at this versus, I never look at the barrels. The barrels, they all look the same to me. This whole row of pencils, barrels are all purple, the same. So the barrels, I just know not to go by the barrels. I go by the swatch. And then when I pull it, I always have to do a little sample coloring. I always do a sample of the two-page spread. I print it out on copy paper, and so I will test out and make sure that my choice is a good one, especially with these 520s. We do have a whole bunch of neons. We have a bunch of metallics. And this is number 10. So The metallics and the neons, as well as the two whites, are actually in a special zipper bag in my colored pencil drawer. So if I do need the white, I just grab the bag, and there's the two whites. They're actually on their own side all by themselves, and then the neons are on one side and the metallics are on the other. So very pleasant pencils. I can't say good enough things about them. If you have an extra, I think I spent and it was $99, so I had a $20 off 119. They were from Amazon. And then I also have a Amazon Prime card, and I had a little money. As it builds up to $25, you can choose to get a discount on anything you buy because you get 5% back. Or you can just hold it, and once you hit 25, it'll put it back on the credit card as a credit. So in this case, I had a little extra money sitting there in the Prime account, so I used it. So I paid $93 for these after tax. And of course, with Prime, shipping is free. So definitely very happy that I bought these pencils. So over here is the second page that we did. It was nice to color some nice simple heart flowers. These sets for the two large flowers very conveniently were Castle Arts. I had been wanting to pit the two Castle Arts together against each other and color them one after the other, so I was able to do that. I am not sure if with the four hearts, the four sets actually were the two Castle Arts together, but they were within the page, so I went ahead and took the liberty of deciding that I was going to use both of the Castle Arts. I have both 120 sets. The gold was first, and that's on the top. And then the bottom one is the soft touch. So I don't know if it's apparent to you. Hopefully you are seeing what I am seeing. But when I bought the golds, I did buy the golds first, and I bought them with extras because I got some paper packs. At the time, I was trying to collect up papers, a variety of different papers, so it was something I wanted to do, and I also had not bought a pencil set yet that came in a case, and I wanted to experience their case. So I am going to go get the gold case because I have something to share with you about it. Okay, here is the Castle Art Gold. The cases between the gold and the soft touch are identical. I do have labels that I put on all of my pencil cases, and when I went to pull, looking at the Castle Arts Gold, looking at the labels between the two because they're identical, this just popped off. Here is the zipper pull, and it broke off. I have no idea why. I didn't do anything mean to it, but it's broken. So that is just something to be aware of. I don't feel that these cases feel any cheaper than your individual zippered single slot cases because these are all single slots. I really like how I can take, and I have the numbers all listed individually. I did have to resort the gold color family because it came sorted like this, which makes no sense to me. I already told you that the Brutfuner flower boxes were just like a tiny bit off, but this is off. Like, I'm okay with the first rows kind of blending from green to orange. Don't really know why the orange is before the yellow. Yeah, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then over here it turns into a hot mess. So I did not like that about it. I did a detailed walkthrough of these fairly recently, and I chose the Coloring Bliss color family order. So you'll see that the browns are sorted nicely, nestled into whether they're a reddish brown, yellowish brown, orangish brown. So the swatch for the golds looks a little bit wonky, but I do enjoy seeing the browns in the tints that make them what they are, whether they're red or orange or yellow. I do like this. So that part I do like about the Coloring Bliss color family orders. I think it's the first time I've chosen her order over other people's color family order. I will always choose someone else's color family order over my own because it saves me time, and I figure these people have been doing this a lot longer than I, and I just find one that I like. Sometimes I'll pick two that I'm not sure of, and I will swatch them both out only far enough to decide which way I want to go, and I pretty much can decide a sort order that I like. I like to start the color family in yellow, so by the oranges I've seen what their choices are and have pretty much been able to decide from there. So the Soft Touch I bought separate. I bought them at Christmas time. They were on a special. It might have even been not Christmas time. It might have been like a right after Cyber Monday, right after Thanksgiving. So I had already dealt with the wonky color family that the gold was in. So when the Soft Touch came, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much nicer. So I have them in the color family order that they came in. I also have their slots individually labeled. Yeah, see, so I used silver on this, and I also did it here. Let's just flip this the other way. There we go, on the front. That will make more sense. So you can see that I have numbered every single one within this book. Having a dedicated book that I know is only for these pencils is great, because when I get the generic ones that you can have anything in, I have to do paper inserts. I always do inserts now, especially since I've started the daily color. When I hit any set, which I've now touched them 3 times in the pages. I had one page I did all 30 sets. So every single set I have has their placement in the book clearly marked, either written on the case itself or on an insert sheet that I have created. And that makes such a difference. It makes going through the sets when I have to go through them quickly. If I'm doing multiples on a page, for instance, it just makes it so much better. So I am glad that this exercise has forced me to be a more organized colorist. So on this particular page over here, we do have some elements that I have not finished embellishing. I recently noticed that my white Castle Arts the gel pen, that has been sitting here in my bin since I moved into the house, so 2022, it went clear on me. There's a gap. I don't have it because I threw it away. There's white, maybe an inch of white ink up here, and then the rest down here, like it's settled or something, is all clear. But I did travel with these. The first set, I actually now have 3 sets of these for coloring class, because I ended up inheriting 2 in a bundle that I bought. So they just came with a really screaming deal on some colored pencils. These just came along with it. I didn't even know they came. They actually just were in the box. So that was pretty exciting. So this set is my personal set that I bought, and the white is missing from the case, so it is my white that went all wonky and had to be thrown away. So to test these out, I opened up the case, I grabbed my swatches, I picked a silver. It is a light silver graphite with glitter, and I've colored a little bit on this particular heart, and I'm just going to continue on. I did have to put my curtains or blinds such that it is darker in here than it really is, because the light was filtering through the sun, dappling my desk, and it makes it hard, I hear, for you guys to see. So I have turned that off, and I hope that the focus is doing good. I have the focus set for me. What I set it for is 1 center point when I'm moving things around often. So hopefully I'll keep my knuckle out of the way and we won't have any problems with focus while I finish this up. I did a haul video, that was episode 164, and I bought Lyra fine liners on clearance at Walmart. I then went online to do a little investigation, and they are actually still full price online, which means that my store, for whatever reason, probably had either too much inventory that hadn't moved fast enough. And so the first thing I did after I did the video, I had them on my desk, is I swatched them. So I will share the swatches because again, just like these with the white drying out, I was worried then that the fine liners might be old enough that they would be dried out. But I am happy to report that I was able to write with all 20 of them without issue. And you are seeing me, I just had started a tiny bit just to make sure that it wasn't bone dry. And it feels really good. It feels smooth. It's very reminiscent of what it was like when I was doing the initial swatches for these. My favorite glitter pens, which is just a set of only glitter, 80 glitter colors, is the Tan Mitt. And they are a fatter, this is a 0.5, and I would say that the Tan Mitts are at least a 0.7. So I actually feel that there is a purpose for both sets for me in my world. Number one is the Castle Arts is a mix of all sorts of gel pens, from neons to pastels, swirls, 4 regular colored, like red, blue, green, black, and then a bunch of glitter. But it's only got like 28 glitter. So it's a combo style gel pen set. And these are very much nice and narrow nibs to fit on this smaller shape that goes around the flowers. So that is why I chose them. Between that and the white one that I just had to throw away, I wanted to see if any of the other pens were having issues. So I will test out a few more. So that is a finished heart. I will finish the other hearts. The pink hearts are just going to get the silver here across the top only. Oh, there's actually one more place. Oops, that's not very good. I said my lighting isn't the best. There are 2 right here. When I have areas like these little circles that need to be filled in, and it's in a coloring area, I just take the color of the pencil right over the top. I'm still going to see the outline of it. So there you have it. And those are the pink. One of the pinks done. So I will finish that up in my own time because I want to share with you the other pencil sets. So after the determination between the gold and the soft touch, I feel that the soft touch was a little bit less dusty and it was more vibrant. I can even see to my eye that the soft touch, which ironically, it is a wax based and this is their oil based, and I would expect the gold to be brighter. That might be a wrong assumption on my part, but I had the suspicion. I've used the soft touch more than the gold, and I have always found that it was more pigmented, but I've never pitted them against each other on the same page using the same image. So to my eye, the bottom one is brighter, and that is the soft touch. There are 2 colors that did not exist in both sets, so I had to substitute, and I don't think that's the deal because one of them is a green and the other one is the softest, lightest pink, which I kept aside to use on the soft touch, but I ended up not having to use it. The lightest pink was used as a white to do the final burnishing, and I was able to use the pink around the perimeter for the whole burnishing, and it just burnished, kind of like self-burnished. I only see like a area or two that could use a little more burnishing specific attention. Then the two little hearts, we changed gears, and on the left here you will already see that that is a very muted palette. It is the Derwent drawing, which is one of my professional sets. There are only 24 colors, so I chose the bottom two for the pink of the heart, or the burgundy of the heart, the two blues, and the two greens. The centers of the flowers uses yellow ochre, which is the only yellow. So it was a very simple palette. I used it to establish what colors, and then I got to switch gears over here to use yet another favorite set of mine, which is the 120. And when I did the a little discussion about the pencils as I was using them, I complained about the brightness of the darkness, I should say, of the color palette. And what I did not like is that I had left white tooth for every single color. So this is after me painstakingly going back and coloring every single one to the proper depth of color they deserve to help me make a better judgment call on whether or not these pencils lack the darkest version of the color that they should have. And I still feel that in the blues, I would like to see a true deep navy blue. You have Egyptian blue, which I already had talked about, and Persian blue, but in neither case are they a true navy blue. There is a dark teal, which I like. That's great. And I do think that the darks, like dark umber is plenty dark. The browns go dark enough. I had complained about the emerald green, but I do feel that it is just about dark enough. I still could use a green black if they wanted to give me one, but in the meantime, that still is way darker. That is one of them that I was complaining about. So I still feel the blue is lacking, but that all of the other colors that I was finding that didn't go dark enough, they all go plenty dark enough. And now I'm not embarrassed to share with you guys my swatch. I've shown this a couple times. This would be the third time now that I'm sharing it with you, and now it's done. So I do try when I find my work is lacking, my organization work, that I make myself go back and fix it, because it does benefit me in the long run anyway. All right, so that is what was done last week. And before I head into next week, I'm going to give you guys an update. So I had a poll up for which book you guys would like me to color in my big version of the Daily Color using a full-size coloring book. You guys picked it. Then I did a post about which of the 3 pages. Romantic Country was the book chosen. You guys chose it. And so the page that was picked was, of course, a hard one. The other 2 pages I picked were basically postage stamps and an art gallery with pictures on the wall, where this has a lot more going on. So the final post that is up right now that I feel is probably already, it's been determined, because the percentage differences between the options, between the first and second option, are a large enough jump that I do not think, even if 10 more people voted, I don't think it would change anything. So I'm going to go and share with you what the final choices were. I picked 4 pencil sets. All of them are my favorites. I did not allow myself to choose multiples within a family, and I did go for budget over 72, no 72 sets. And I even had to go, I pretty much went 120 or bigger. So the 4 choices were Artex, Brutfuner flower boxes, Kalour 180 Black Barrel, and Starjoy Gold, because all of those 4 are lovely sets to work with, and I feel I have a lot of choices to complete like a 10 by 10 image. So right now at 46%, there are 39 votes so far. I thank all 39 of you for voting. That is very helpful to me to know that I am giving you guys what you asked for. And from this screen, I see that the Artex is 46%, Brutfuner 21%, Kalour 180 Black Barrel 18%, Starjoy Gold 120 15%. Selfishly, I'll tell you what my choice was going to be, and I thought, nope, I better just put it out and let you guys decide. I really like the flower boxes right now because I just finished the big bird, and it was so pleasant, and it went so fast. But I also really like all 4 of these. So I'm glad that I let you guys decide, and it will be Artex. And sometime this week, we will be starting on our, I call it the library with the 2 cats. So I will get started on this sometime this week. I might color in it twice. It'll be at least once to twice a week. And I'll just keep working at it until it's finished. And for what we're going to do in the Daily Color Small Victories, the Daily Color Small version, is going to be a challenge because there are 10 flowers. This one flower is so small, and it's just a part of a flower, so it doesn't count. And I think all of the other flowers have big enough elements that what I think I'm going to do is use 9 sets. And this flower and this portion of flower, since this one is small and this one has kind of the outer ring, this one doesn't, I will do 9 sets, and 1 set will be both of these elements. What I haven't decided is if I'm going to go ahead and use the same color palette in all of them and just rearrange the color palettes. So because these are big enough images, there will have to be some blending combos involved. So it's not going to be just a small set of pencils. It will be a larger set of pencils. And if I am going in the order of my random number generator, I will see if all of my pencil sets that are the next 9 for us to play with, if they're going to be sets like it may be if it's a metallic set or it's a pastel set. I won't be able to have those colors be represented. So what I'm probably going to do is make sure that the 9 here are full regular sets with a full palette of colors, and any oddballs, either metallic or pastels, will come over here to these 6 circles. And I don't even know if I will get to these 6 circles. These are fairly simple images. It's just a matter of doing some blends, so perhaps it will go quickly. I am not sure, but I am up for the challenge. So that, I think, is all that I have for you guys. One other little item to report. I had shared in my haul that I got the Lyra Graduate fine liners, and I have made myself sit down because I wanted to put them away. So this is my little swatch chart that I have for the Crafter's Closet Detail Doodlers. And there is another piece of that. It's right here. I have 2 sets of the doodlers. Each of them are a 12. Then I have these are Stabilo, I believe, Triplus Neon. So this was the one that had the most room. So I'm trying to keep all of my fine liners together, and at this point I don't feel I'm going to need any more fine liners anytime soon. So that pretty much wraps up this week and gets us set up for next week. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I will see you again for the start of the Daily Color.